चलो लेट्स गो।
So start.
लेग स्ट्रेच कर लूं एक बार। We went over time. I spoke too much. क्या था?
You want me to say it?
Say it.
मोदी शाह की कब्र को देगी जेएनयू की जमीन पर।
जब मेसी यहाँ पे आए थे
वो डॉक्टर्ड वीडियो है, मुझे मालूम है आप क्या बात कर रहे हो। वो कम्प्लीटली डॉक्टर्ड वीडियो है। इंडिया
यूपी में कहना हिंदू ईट बीफ होना।
Nobody can. कि आप 4 सवाल मुझसे एक साथ नहीं पूछ सकते।
Tonight's guest, Charu Pragya.
आप इस तरीके की बातें कभी पोक के लिए तो नहीं करते? आप क्यों नहीं करते? आप ये क्यों नहीं पूछते?
सरकार पे तो आप है ना मैम?
नहीं, सरकार में हम हैं, लेकिन आप नैरेटिव सेट कर रहे हो ना।
कांग्रेस के लिए हम क्या कह रहे हैं कि डायनेस्टिक बैकग्राउंड है इसलिए उनका डिक्लाइन हो रहा है।
डॉक्टर का बेटा डॉक्टर बनता है, लॉयर का बेटा लॉयर बनता है, ये जाहिर सी बात है। काऊ का जो मीट है हमारे लिए होली है, लेकिन आप ये वाला क्वेश्चन मुस्लिम से तो नहीं पूछ रहे ना।
Do you think it is right to
Do you think it is right to levy blank allegations without even coming with your question framed correctly? I'm allowed to swing my hands wherever I want, but if swinging of these hands is going to punch your nose, that is not my right. Now na, Rahul Gandhi boasts about I have more impressions than PM Modi, but चुनाव क्यों नहीं जीत रही फिर तुम्हारी पार्टी impressions लेकर? How much does it take to get 10 people into any crowd and have them chant something?
Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta is being seen getting a lot of troll on social media.
You've chosen her for governance. You've not chosen her to be your English professor.
I mean the past cases of BJP.
Why are you calling it BJP cases?
ये स्टेट पे तो आप पावर पे, सेंटर पे आप पावर पे, ऑपोजिशन को क्यों सवाल पूछते?
तो क्या वहाँ सिर्फ हिंदुओं का इलाज होगा या
बिल्कुल
सिर्फ
नहीं।
हिंदुओं?
अगर आप जो हिंदी इंपोजिशन बोल रहे हो, आई डिसएग्री। तो ये
पर
दुरुपयोग कोई
चुनाव
और
के
कर रहा
समय
है।
ही खास तौर पर
नहीं,
ऐसी कार्रवाई
बिल्कुल भी
ईडी
नहीं।
क्यों कर रही है? तो
बिल्कुल
ये
भी नहीं।
सवाल का
नहीं,
मतलब
not
एक
at all,
नजरिया तो
not at
बनेगा।
all. Come back and discuss this with me again.
So hasn't the BJP here made a U-turn on the Revdi culture?
Are you trying to say that someone who earns 12,000 rupees a month gets the same amount of electricity free versus somebody who's got two Mercedes parked in the driveway?
मैम भारत तो विश्वगुरु बताता है ना।
भारत अपने आप को विश्वमित्र बताता है।
मैम बीपीएससी जो होता है मैम सबसे बड़ी राज्य की सबसे बड़ी पेपर होता है।
एक स्ट्रे क्रिमिनल इंसिडेंट को लेकर आप पूरी सरकार को एंटी युवा बोलना चाह रहे हो? अगर हमारे धर्म का अपमान करना आपके लिए एंटरटेनमेंट है या पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट है, we as a government will not tolerate it. Absolutely not. I'll drink some water. मेरा मुंह सूख गया है।
All right then, welcome to Take That. This is not a speech, this is not a rally, this is not a TV studio shouting match. This is a room full of young Indians asking questions they actually care about. Tonight's guest, Charu Pragya, BJP spokesperson, lawyer, and someone who's debated in enough tough rooms to know what pressure feels like. Now, here's the format. Simple and straight. There are 10 young Indians in this room, and each of them gets 2 shots at the guest. We do this in 2 rounds. Round 1, each questioner gets 4 minutes. One-on-one direct questions. Round 2, we reset, and the same 10 come back again. Each participant gets another 4 minutes. This round is for follow-ups, clarifications, and the stuff we try to slide past in round 1. All right, let's begin.
Hello ma'am, I'm Paridhi.
Paridhi.
I'm currently pursuing my postgraduate diploma from ITMI, India Today Media Institute. It's really nice to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you.
So my first question will be a little lighter. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta is being seen getting a lot of troll on social media. अब इलेक्शन से पहले तो हम सोशल मीडिया के इमेज ठीक करने पे चले जाते हैं, बी इट प्रोनाउंसिंग AQI को AIQ और कॉलिंग सुभाष पैलेस इंस्टेड ऑफ सुभाष चंद्र बोस और रेफरिंग पुलिस एज थुल्ले एंड द लिस्ट कंटिन्यूज। अब बीजेपी के पास इतना सॉलिड IT सेल है क्योंकि इससे पहले जो PR क्राइसिस हुए हैं, बी इट PM मोदी, बी इट अमित शाह और BSP चीफ मायावती, इन सब के PR क्राइसिस को अच्छे से मैनेज किया गया है। लेकिन व्हेन इट कम्स टू रेखा गुप्ता, व्हाई इज इट नॉट हैपनिंग? And as a young voter and an active social media user, I really want to know that is this trolling being used to divert us from main issues like pollution, unemployment, and as a media representative, do you think this is strengthening her or this is weakening her? Because PR is PR. अब वो positively हो रहा है या negatively हो रहा है? तो I really want to know what exactly are you guys trying to do with CM Rekha Gupta?
I think she's an incredible CM because she's a doer. She comes from the ground. She has done fantastic work at the municipal level, at the local level in Delhi, and she understands the issues of Delhi. Today, I think the opposition wants to deflect attention from the fact that here she is not focusing on the right PR, as you're putting it, but focusing on work. We have a chief minister working on the ground, round the clock, every single day presenting a report card to the people of Delhi, showing changes in 11 months that our city has unfortunately not seen for 11 years. And that is the problem. And that is why this concentrated troll army trying to find fault in smaller things. Slip of tongue तो भाई किसी से भी हो सकता है. Mispronounce एक शब्द कोई भी कर सकता है. And I think she answered it beautifully in the Vidhan Sabha this time. She directly called them out. She said, अच्छा चलो मेरे मुंह से एक की जगह दूसरा शब्द निकल गया. Does that mean that all the work that I have done on ground, every single thing our team has achieved in 11 months should be negated? उस पे focus ही ना जाए. So I in fact through you and the show also urge youngsters today थोड़ा आप ये देखिए काम क्या हो रहा है. Report cards पढ़िए because you've chosen her for governance. You've not chosen her to be your English professor.
बट सिर्फ मैम सोशल मीडिया पे तो इमेज बहुत नेगेटिवली जा रहा है. तो माय क्वेश्चन इज आईटी सेल उसको ठीक करने के लिए व्हाई दे आर नॉट टेकिंग एनी स्टेप्स?
पता है उनकी इमेज अच्छी होगी जब दिल्ली सुधरेगी और वो दिखना शुरू हो गया है. इन रीसेंट टाइम्स एफर्ट्स हैव बीन मेड ऑन थिंग्स दैट नोबडी वांटेड टू टॉक अबाउट. रिसेंटली आई लुक्ड एट सम डेटा. 45,000 potholes fixed in Delhi in 1 year. 45,000. इतने पाइल अप क्यों होने दिए थे प्रीवियस सरकारों ने? तो इवेंचुअली व्हेन यू सी चेंजेस आउटसाइड योर हाउस, अ pothole is fixed, water issues are getting solved, the bigger things that Delhiites were concerned with, transportation issues, traffic congestion, जब ये सब चीज़ें ठीक होगा ना तो उनको PR के लिए PR machinery नहीं लगेगी. Her citizens are her PR. Her citizens will give her their stamp of approval.
Then why do you think जब मेसी यहाँ पे आए थे
वो डॉक्टर्ड वीडियो है. मुझे मालूम है आप क्या बात कर रहे हो. वो कंप्लीटली डॉक्टर्ड वीडियो है. हाउ मच डज इट टेक टू गेट 10 पीपल इनटू एनी क्राउड एंड हैव देम चांट समथिंग? हाउ मच डज इट टेक? It's effortless for anyways a party like Aam Aadmi Party जो सिर्फ ड्रामे पे दिल्ली में 11 साल लास्ट कर गई. And then they were weeded out in such a solid way because eventually Delhi realized that ऐसे नहीं चलती है सरकार. What you need at the end of the day is a government with an action plan, a government which is accountable, and a government which is not just focusing on one huge error after another. We got that today. We are lucky.
Okay,
Thank you, Pariti.
thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Aditya Mukherjee. I'm also pursuing journalism as a career.
Hi, Aditya.
Ma'am, I want to start off with the first question to you is, there are a lot of examples in the Northeast where a lot of Northeast leaders have said that consuming beef is absolutely okay. I also consume, you can also consume. Suddenly in Uttar Pradesh, the consumption of beef, suddenly beef cow becomes the mother, and Yogi Adityanath and other BJP leaders talk about we must worship cow, and if Congress is in power, they'll allow beef open. So you're doing it in Northeast, as you are also doing it in Northeast, right? So why this double standard? In Northeast you have another ideology, and in UP you have another ideology?
There is no difference in ideology. And I think you're talking about regional context to food. इंडिया इज़ अ ह्यूज कंट्री एंड यहाँ पर जो लोग खाते हैं वो जहाँ पर रहते हैं उससे इम्पैक्टेड है. राइट? इफ़ यू आर एट द कोस्टल एरियाज ऑफ दिस कंट्री यू आर कंज्यूमिंग अ लॉट ऑफ फिश. यू आर इन द सेंटर ऑफ द कंट्री, यू आर ग्रोइंग योर व्हीट एंड यू आर कंज्यूमिंग दैट, एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इट इज़. सी, गाय हमारी माँ है इज़ नॉट समथिंग दैट वी जस्ट से रैंडमली. हमारे शास्त्रों में उनको इसीलिए पूजा जाता है बिकॉज देयर इज़ अ रीज़न. नाउ हियर इज़ वन animal, if I may say that, जिसकी हर एक चीज़ का इस्तेमाल is done to make things better, whether it is starting from गौमूत्र से लेकर गोबर से लेकर ट्रेडिशनली जो आप वेस्ट भी बोलते हो ना, वो हमारे लिए फर्टिलाइजर है, हमारे घर बनाने के लिए रॉ मटेरियल है, हमारा खाना बनाने के लिए फ्यूल है, एंड दैट इज गाय. मैं वहीं पर आ रही हूँ. तो लेकिन नॉर्थ ईस्ट का जो रिलीजियस कॉन्टेक्स्ट है वो डिफरेंट है, वो माउंटेन टेरेन है, वो डिफरेंट है. एंड आई नो वीव हैड आवर लीडर्स ऑल्सो ओपनली से कि वो बीफ कंज्यूम करते हैं, लेकिन आप एक नॉर्थ ईस्ट की बात को लेकर, जहां पर रिलीजियसली दैट थिंग इज सेंसिटिव, आप थोप नहीं सकते। आप इस तरीके की बातें कभी पोक के लिए तो नहीं करते? आप क्यों नहीं करते? आप ये क्यों नहीं पूछते?
सरकार पे तो आप है ना मैम?
नहीं, सरकार में हम हैं, लेकिन आप नैरेटिव सेट कर रहे हो ना। मैं तो आपको आंसर बता रही हूँ। मैं आपको ये बताना चाह रही हूँ that something which is correct for one particular region or community does not apply to me. If you are going to deliberately do something to hurt my sentiments, I am going to call it out. Can you go to Dubai during Ramzan and in a public place eat a sandwich? You cannot, because you are supposed to be minding the sentiments of people around you. Can you go to the house of someone who's a vegetarian person, open a tiffin and eat a chicken tikka? You cannot. That is disrespect for that person. So why is it that when it comes to Hindu sentiments, respect for our beliefs, our systems, to something जिसको हम पूजनीय मानते हैं, उसका अपमान करना इतनी बड़ी चीज क्यों हो जाती है? अच्छा, you're talking about the Northeast, you're not talking about Kerala, where to prove a point, a cow is slaughtered, murdered in cold blood in front of our eyes and then consumed. तो आप उसको भी address करो ना. And why was that done? Was that not a political sentiment? Was that not done only to hurt sentiments of other people? It had nothing to do with meat consumption.
I think we must be fair. The communists have always endorsed whatever one can eat whatever they want to.
Yes.
But you have stuck along with the Hindu ideology, right? And cow has been a very important factor.
And then we are applying that to Hindus only, na? आप मुझे एक बात बताओ ना. We are not saying who can eat what where, but India.
UP में can a Hindu eat beef or not?
No, nobody can.
Why?
काउ का जो मीट है हमारे लिए होली है, लेकिन आप ये वाला क्वेश्चन मुस्लिम्स तो नहीं पूछ रहे ना. आप मुझको ये बात बताओ, वो तो आप अदर वे तो नहीं पूछते हो, तो व्हाई मस्ट?
स्टेट पे तो आप पावर पे, सेंटर पे आप पावर पे, ऑपोजिशन को क्यों सवाल पूछ? पावर में तो
मैं
आप
ऑपोजिशन से सवाल ही नहीं पूछ रही. मैं अपना एक आपको स्टेटमेंट दे रही हूँ और ब्लैंकेट ये बात बोल रही हूँ. अगर हमारे धर्म का अपमान करना आपके लिए एंटरटेनमेंट है या पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट है, वी एज अ गवर्नमेंट विल नॉट टॉलरेट इट. एब्सोल्युटली नॉट.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Shashwat Roy.
Hi,
I'm
Shashwat.
also pursuing journalism.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise, ma'am. A recent RTI revealed that the Maharashtra's Chief Minister relief funds received over 106 crores in the month of October 2025. Yet only 75,000 rupees was disbursed in that month. That is approximately 0.007% of the total amount which they got. Now, the government's explanation that 61 crore was dispersed over 3 months and that the other departments also provide relief fund does not address why only 75,000 rupees was used in October. Doesn't reporting 1 month figures without context create a misleading impression? Shouldn't the government publish fully monthly disbursement data in real time to ensure transparency and public trust?
Absolutely. So your question is very localized and it is very specific. So I do not know the exact details of this particular RTI. But I'll tell you what our government believes in. We got in the DBT system, the direct benefit transfer system, for this transparency. Unfortunately, हमारे देश में एक प्रधानमंत्री थे जिन्होंने very openly and very bluntly ये state किया था that out of 1 rupee which the center releases, barely 15 paise reach the ground, which means 85% of the relief money is siphoned off. It disappears. And this is the correction that we started working on, and we are very proud of the transparency that we have gotten. You will not be able to say that the money disappeared into thin air. Yes, it could have been delayed. Yes, there could have been roadblocks where the time for this money to reach the actual beneficiaries could be long, and that must be corrected 100%. But there's no disappearance of money. There is no space where you can say that accountability nahi hai. Government takes complete accountability and there is complete transparency. And if we can bring together a system which corrects these delays also, we'll be very happy to do that, because at the end of the day, our objective is to reach people. Our objective is to help the last person. And when we call ourselves a welfare state, we say it with a lot of pride because we are delivering on it in every aspect. And agar Maharashtra mein koi kami hai, I will take a look at that. And I assure you, it will be a delay. It doesn't mean disappearance of any money, not even 1 paisa.
More than a delay, it looks like they still got the money, but the amount was so less. It was only 75,000 rupees. So why was such a tiny fraction used? Out of 106 crores, why was such a tiny fraction used? And that too after, after the month the flood was hit, after that month they received it. So they could have received a larger portion of that money. But 75,000 to the farmers after they have been hit by flood. So I don't think there is any delay. but they didn't they could have given them more, right? The government could have given them more than 75,000.
So the government must have decided a deployment amount which was sent out, and exactly what I was telling you, you are discussing a very localized issue,
Yeah.
which me being in Delhi and after a prolonged period of time from the incident you are stating, might not know the details of. I'm in another state. But I'm asking you this, do you not understand the way direct benefit transfer works? Do you also not draw the distinction between money released and money reached, and where is the middle part of the money? Either there was a reason why the rest of the money was not released, and RTI will give you those details also. And if there is a delay, that does not mean disappearance. See, I'm talking about transparency here, and that's exactly what you should be asking me. Transparency is most important. Every single penny that the government spends is our money, and we should know where that money is going. So if today we are giving money for welfare, you can track it. You can track it. That can't be said for the past. So systems are changing, systems are improving, and you have a constructive suggestion, give it to us. We will add that to whatever next reforms will be done in the country.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Nitya Jain, and I'm also pursuing journalism. My question to you is regarding a case which received a huge political and public outrage in 2022. Ankita Bhandari, a young receptionist in Uttarakhand, was raped and murdered by a BJP leader's son, Pulkit Arya, and 2 other people. And court verdict suggests she denied personal favors to a VIP guest. So the accused haven't been arrested yet. As a women's right activist, do you think this is fair for the society?
No, absolutely not. And we must call a crime, and we must call a criminal. It doesn't matter what their political affiliation is. It doesn't matter what family they come from. And they must pay for their crimes, but legally. See, there are 2 things I'm very firm about. One, many times justice delayed is justice denied, but this is a discussion also for judicial reforms, which we need to quickly do, which we have done. The new criminal laws have actually put a timeline for disposing of cases, especially heinous ones like the one you're discussing right now. That timeline is very important. 10 saal ke baad insaf mila, so too much time has already lapsed. So, no mincing words. Punishment must be melted out, it must be strict, it must be swift, and if we are lacking on that, it is a fault on our part and we must correct it. We are working to correct it. And if there is more that can be done, I assure you the government will do it. किसी को ना गलत चीज़ों के लिए defend करना ही नहीं चाहिए, especially for something like this, and this privileged group of people who want to tell us which family they come from or whose children they are. I think there the punishment also needs to be made into an example. We have to talk about it, write about it.
I mean, the past cases of BJP, there are too many individuals who are accused of a lot of things and heinous crimes, but no proceedings have been done.
No, that's absolutely not true. And why are you calling it BJP cases? Why do you not
It's the
look at
ruling
it?
government.
No, it's not the ruling government or the opposition, it is society in general. Where do you think the politicians come from? Politicians are a part of our society. What the society is, the parliament is going to reflect. We should work to make our society better. Yes, the person who's a criminal should be held accountable as one. But you cannot paint it as BJP politicians only. Are you telling me that there's nobody else in power in any other part of the country from any other political party? That's not true. That's not true. And of course, there is increased accountability now for people who hold positions of power. And I don't know if you remember that debate or not. Recently, some alterations and amendments were made in the Act, Representation of People's Act, where it is said that if you're holding office and you're being investigated for a serious crime, you need to step down from office. You know who outraged against it? The entire opposition, not Bharatiya Janata Party, which is in power. Which are the people who will get impacted if they get caught in an ugly case? The people outraging it were people on the other side, saying that this is done to pull us down. So a chief minister, a cabinet minister, people actually who hold the kind of clout which can influence any investigation are now going to be stepping down from their positions while the investigation goes on. And I think that's a fantastic step in accountability, in making sure people in public life are honest, are not criminals. And we as a society also, and I'm repeating this, we all as a society also have to make better efforts to ensure that people we are choosing, people we are projecting as our leaders, people we are voting for, are the kind of people we want to hold up as our idols.
But
Better people need to be in politics.
Do you think the party is trying to save
the leader because there's no update on this case yet.
Absolutely not. Tell me one person who's been saved, and do you think the party is doing the prosecution?
No.
Is party investigating? Is party the judiciary? Is a party karyakarta sitting as the judge? And we have several layers of judiciary in this country. वो lowest level से लेकर Supreme Court तक जाता है. Are you trying to tell me it's BJP which runs it? So there are different pillars to the way this country is run. Judiciary has nothing to do with the government, let alone a political party. And painting it as such is absolutely unfair and frankly a little misinformed, beta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hi ma'am, my name is Parishri Vashisht.
Hi.
I wanted to ask you that BJP has been in power for such a long time now, and if women's safety is truly a priority, then why does NCRB reports show crime against women rising every year? Why hasn't the conviction rate improved despite so many new laws? And don't you think our laws are falling short somewhere, that the cases are still coming up and the real change requires some urgency to protect women on ground? And you being a legal activist on women's legal rights and related issues, who better than you to answer this?
Thank you. Yes, I agree with you. Somewhere our expectations are not met. I am not sure if law is the problem, because I'm quite certain it is not. We have powerful laws, we have strong laws, but at the same time, there is a gap in, I wouldn't say implementation, but there is a gap in the way these laws are penetrating down to the ground level. See, there has to be a fear psychosis of a man committing a crime against a woman. There has to be that element of fear that if I were to do this, the extent to which the law will take its course is going to put a full stop to my life as it is today. The other issue today also is, and this is a rising, rampant issue in society, is that most of the crimes against women are carried out by people who are within the inner circle of that woman herself. It also is a societal problem, and we are doing our best to address that, not just through laws, not just through policing, better lighting, better infrastructure, emergency buttons, all of that, but through education. So I firmly believe that education has to be imparted in such a way that the first 12-15 years of your formative years, a man is taught to respect a woman the way she deserves to be respected. I believe sex education should be done for both the genders together. Why is it done in two different classrooms? Menstrual education, why are boys not taught about these things? So eventually, if you're looking at a safer society over a longer period of time, all of this has to be done. The second thing is that investigation has to become better for punishments to be given to those who deserve it, and that's going to happen with better CCTV coverage.
When will it all happen?
No, it's happening. It's happening. But also, you see, with the rise of our population, with the rise of this weird frustration, sometimes sickness that we see in the mentality of men, raping a baby, for example, that is not crime. That is some kind of a mindset which is so horrific that it just does not take a death penalty to fix it. That death penalty is required, and after that we also need to analyze what is causing that kind of a mindset that a man thinks he can think like that and get away with it. That needs to be put a full stop to. So a short-term solution, of course, is to have strong laws, which we have now, but long-term solution is going to be education, is going to be talking to people in every walk of life.
Do you think you're doing something to, make the education system better?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've been talking about this for a very long time. See, the simple thing, the simple truth is that there has to be mutual respect. The world is evolving, the world is changing. A woman is not, her body is not a spoil of war. It is not something that you can conquer. It is not something that you can touch against her will. And all these things, all these realities need to be drilled into the minds of men. Crime against women is something which is not specific to India alone. It's rampant all over the world. Any part of the world, any country you go to, that's the situation. When we look at NCRB data today, if we look at it in isolation, yes, it is horrific. It's heart-shattering. That is how bad it is. But at the same time, if you look at that data per million and you compare it to, say, another developed country also, we realize that we are working to improve the situation, and I think here culture is what should come in. It is our culture which can keep women safer and better in the long run.
Okay, thank you.
Hi.
Oh, iPad ke saath.
Hi, how are you? I'm Nishita.
Nice to meet you, Nishita.
Likewise. So my first question would be that the government often emphasizes freedom of expression. Yet we see journalists, students and activists facing legal actions for speech-related issues. And I would like to name minors who have been booked and have FIR filed against them. A very famous case, that is Ashmeet Gautam, a 14-year-old child who had an FIR filed against him for the tone and content of his videos. Then we have a 16-year-old from Ranchi, Jharkhand. Then we have a 14-year-old Junaid from Sitapur, Uttar Pradesh. Then we also have another minor from Kishtwar, Jammu and Kashmir. So as somebody...
Can you tell me what is the content in the videos that you're mentioning?
The content is about education, unemployment, clean air.
No, not vaguely. Not vaguely. Obviously, if an FIR is booked, it's going to be booked for a statement this particular influencer has made. Give me what he has said.
Ashmeet Gautam video, if I talk about, he has talked about how the BJP...
No, not vaguely. Give me the statement, because FIR cannot be made on somebody making a video, right?
No,
An FIR has to be lodged on a statement. Give me the statement. Let's analyze the statement.
FIR is not lodged on a statement. It is lodged on the tone and content of his videos.
Give me the content. That's what I'm asking for.
I am so sorry, I do not have the statement with me at the moment.
And okay.
But I would just tell you that it was seen, the citing in the FIR was that it is critical for the administration. And that is what they cited in the FIR itself.
So you gave me 5 examples.
Child.
You gave me 5 examples.
Yes.
Give me the statement for any of these 5.
Can I just take a minute to search that?
Please
if
take
that
your
is
time.
allowed?
No, that is allowed. Please take your time. See, I do not want to sit here and allow you to pretend that FIRs are filed in a vague way. It's a document, right? It is a public document which you can access. Give me the statement and then I'll give you my answer.
But do you think it is right to file
Do you think it is
FIR
right to
against
levy
minors?
blank allegations without even coming with your question framed correctly? Give me the question, give me the statement, I'll answer it.
But what about that they're minors?
Do you think there's no juvenile justice in this country? Nirbhaya case mein, who was the biggest culprit? Was he not a minor?
He was a minor.
Give me proper context, give me the statement, I'll answer your question.
No, I'll just take a second. It is just there.
It's her 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's my 4 minutes. And all right. So he talks about a statement. Okay, let me see if I can play this here. Yeah, I can do that instead.
FIR की वर्डिंग के साथ कोर्ट में वो वीडियो भी अटैच करी जाती है, right?
Yes.
Yes. See, here is an issue I take very seriously.
I'm very sorry.
Sometimes on social media, a narrative is floated and it is said that someone is booked without there being logic to it. I will use a recent example. I don't know if anybody is going to be asking me that question. Turkmen Gate pe some construction was demolished very recently in Delhi. There was a person who spread fake news saying they are coming to get our mosque. Okay, your time's up. We'll discuss it when you come back.
Yeah.
Namaste Charuji. My name is Aditya Karnik and I'm a 12th grade student.
Lovely to meet you, Aditya.
Lovely to meet you as well. On 16 July 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, आजकल हमारे देश में मुफ्त के रेवड़ी बांटकर वोट बटोरने का कल्चर लाने की कोशिश हो रही है। ये रेवड़ी कल्चर हमारे देश के विकास के लिए घातक है। However, as we see in the past few elections, the BJP has repeatedly rolled out large welfare schemes right before the state polls. Whether we take the Ladki Bahin Yojana in Maharashtra or the Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana, where women received 10,000 rupees just a month before the elections were due. So hasn't the BJP here made a U-turn on the Revdi culture and it itself is giving freebies?
No, absolutely not. One, there is a lot of difference between welfare and freebies. Welfare needs to reach people who need help, support and that kind of money. And this distinction is very clear. I will draw it for you. Even the Supreme Court has done that. And the Supreme Court has also very ably ruled that welfare is what our country needs. I proudly say that we are a welfare state today. See, when we give welfare, there are criterias for it. And the criterias are very deep and very specific. So for a person who's able to take care of themselves, for a person who's earning above a certain amount of money or owns some land or has a house or has a vehicle, they are not going to be getting what you are calling a freebie. This is welfare. This goes to the people who are at the lowest rung of our society and they need help and upliftment. That's exactly how we have gotten so many people out of extreme poverty in the last couple of years, 25% plus in fact. That's a massive change and that's a massive number, and that happens with targeted welfare schemes. It doesn't happen when, I'll use the example of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal says everybody gets these many units of free electricity. Everybody? Are you trying to say that someone who earns 12,000 rupees a month gets the same amount of electricity free versus somebody who's got two Mercedes parked in the driveway? Now that is a freebie. That is not what this country needs. This country needs upliftment of the poor who actually needs the help and support of the government, and there's your distinction right there. One more very quick point. In Punjab, a lot of promises were made by the Aam Aadmi Party at the time of elections. But what happened when they came to power? They came running to the centre and then said, we need 1 lakh crore in loan, because we have to fulfill all these promises. Why did you not look at your accounts, your coffers before you made those kind of blank promises? The same thing's happening in Karnataka today. Now that is wrong culture, not when you deliver.
Sure. So if I can ask more there,
Yeah.
especially if you take AAP, I remember that they launched something called the Mahila Mantri Saman scheme, where they were also asking for, giving financial assistance to women, or at least promised it. And then further, if we see, so is that not a freebie because it goes to financial assistance?
Aditya, you know the shocking thing about what you're mentioning right now is there was no cabinet note on it. That's the shocking thing. There was no cabinet note. They put out an advertisement in a newspaper.
Correct.
Without a cabinet note, and they think that people are just going to lap it up and accept it. Absolutely not. We as citizens need to understand that this kind of welfare or freebie or whatever it is that the Aam Aadmi Party was trying to do has to be approved by the cabinet, which never happened.
Correct.
And they did it before elections, and then they backtracked.
But I would ask, why do these welfare schemes come right before elections? I mean, Nitish Kumar 2020, 2022 was with the BJP, then switched back in 2024. But this came, if I'm correct, October 3rd, 2025, and the Bihar poll started around November 6th, 2025. So why is the timing almost 1 month before we've already been in power in the state?
No, I don't agree with that. In any case, see, there's no rollback on the scheme. When you promise something to the people, it continues. It continues for a longer period of time. And I don't think there is anything wrong because everybody comes up with a manifesto. Everybody comes up with a plan of action for the next 5 years if they are given that blessing by the people of that state. And we all do our best. Campaigning well is an asset.
Namaste, ma'am. Vande Mataram. I'm Vandan. I'm currently a student. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Vande Mataram. Lovely to meet you.
So, ma'am, my question to you is, ma'am, during the winter session of the Parliament, we held a discussion on the 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram, with both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha devoting a significant chunk of their time on it. As per a statement from a union minister, the Parliament costs about 2.5 lakh rupee per minute to run, and approximately 15 crore rupee of taxpayer money was spent on this debate. So, during the same period, between December to December 9, Indigo, with a 65% market share of the aviation sector in India, cancelled about 4,500 flights, throwing the lives of thousands of people into chaos. So, the Civil Aviation Minister did issue a briefing on the crisis, but a full-scale debate on the issue was completely ignored. So, my question to you is, why was it that the Vande Mataram debate was prioritized over so many contemporary issues, and aren't we wasting taxpayer money by having a debate on Vande Mataram?
You're talking about Vande Mataram today because the Parliament chose to discuss it. 150 years of an iconic song, it's not even a song, it's a national identity, is important. Celebrating 150 years of that is important, which doesn't mean Indigo crisis was not important. It also doesn't mean the government didn't deal with it swiftly, didn't issue all the notifications it had to, all the penalties it had to, and it doesn't mean that Indigo did not comply. It eventually did. At the same time though, and I've said this before, I was talking to all of you, are you trying to say that discussing history, discussing our culture, discussing our civilization is not important? We are shaped by by our past. We study history in school, history in colleges, because we need to know what happened in our country. And Vande Mataram debate is so important because Vande Mataram has been stamped into a Hindu song. It is not about Hindu identity. It is about national identity.
I agree, ma'am. I completely agree. It's a very important national symbol for us, for everyone, for every citizen
And
of
that is
India.
where appeasement started. See, where we
Ma'am,
stand today as a country, where we stand today as a society, some of the divisions in society that we see today, so much of the polarization we see today started with cutting short Vande Mataram and Nehru saying we'll sing only two stanzas.
The government declared a one-year celebration period for Vande Mataram. There are 3 parliament sessions between that, but at that time we have so many other things to discuss. For example, the Indigo crisis, we have unemployment in the country, we have pollution, so many contemporary issues, but that was ignored over the 150 years of Vande Mataram. We have so much time to discuss our national, we have to, as the BJP puts it, we have to rectify history. But I believe it's a rectification of the present. Why are we ignoring so many other issues of the present? And
no, all the present issues were dealt with. Tell me one present issue that was not dealt with.
I agree it was dealt with, but why wasn't the opposition allowed?
An administrative decision cannot be discussed and debated in Parliament. Understand the difference. An administrative decision is something else. Introducing a bill or talking about something or debating about something else, they're 2 very distinct parts of governance. And what happened at the aviation side of things was discussed amply. So administration cannot become something which is demanded in Parliament every single day, and that seems to be a problem. By the way, both the opposition and the government decide what is going to be the agenda of the Parliament. The opposition also puts up things it wants to discuss. So look at that as well. And at the end of the day, discussions in Parliament are for our benefit, for us to understand something better. It's not an administrative decision, right?
Okay. Ma'am, you talk about the significance of Vande Mataram for our country. But in 2017, BJP spokesperson called Naveen Kumar Singh was asked to sing the Vande Mataram on live television, and he was unable to do so, even while looking on his phone. And ma'am, I want to ask you, ma'am, what does Vande Mataram mean? What does it signify?
See, someone not being able to sing it because of camera fright or stage fright, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, let's not get personal about that. But compare it to someone who blatantly refuses to even say Vande Mataram. Compare it to that. Look at that difference. And why I was saying Vande Mataram is important, it's because that's the time from which the seeds of polarization were sowed in our society. And they were sowed by Nehru. The first person, and I'm going to continue saying this while you change, the first person who introduced Vande Mataram in all Congress meetings before independence was actually a Muslim leader. It was a Muslim leader. So why did Nehru have to be more Muslim than a Muslim leader?
Vande Mataram, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Vande Mataram.
I am Prateek Kumar Singh, journalism student. अपने दोस्त के ही सवाल को मैं आगे थोड़ा सा बढ़ाना चाहता हूँ. सुजलाम सुफलाम मलयज शीतलाम, मतलब कि शुद्ध पानी, शुद्ध खाद्यान्न और शुद्ध हवा. क्या सरकार उन चीज़ों को जो कि बेसिक नीड्स है, उन चीज़ों को पूरा करने में सक्षम है? क्योंकि दिल्ली के AQI, जिस तरीके से दिल्ली प्रदूषण से ग्रसित था, बच्चे बुजुर्ग लगातार प्रभावित थे, ब्रोंकियाइटिस के डिजीजेस बढ़ रहे थे, केसेस उनके पेशेंट बढ़ रहे थे. इंदौर और भोपाल में रिसेंटली अभी जो कंटामिनेटेड वाटर वाला केस हुआ, जिसमें फीकल कॉलीफॉर्म बैक्टीरिया, और ये CAG की रिपोर्ट है, CAG के रिपोर्ट में मेंशन था कि इंदौर और भोपाल दोनों में ये बैक्टीरिया पाए गए हैं. साथ में नीति आयोग की भी रिपोर्ट को मैम कोट करूंगा, वाटर कंपोजिट वाटर मैनेजमेंट इंडेक्स, जिसमें 122 देशों की सूची में भारत 120वें नंबर पे था. यानी कि 70% पानी जो हमारे यहाँ वो कंटामिनेटेड है. इसके अलावा फूड का अडल्टरेशन, बहुत ज्यादा अडल्टरेटेड फूड मार्केट में है. तो हम उन चीजों पर चर्चा क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं? 150 साल पर वंदे मातरम पर हमने चर्चा की, नेहरू जी ने ये हटाया, हमने इस पे चर्चा किया, पर इन बेसिक चीज पर हम कब चर्चा करेंगे और इंप्लीमेंट कब करेंगे इनको?
धन्यवाद, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आपका क्वेश्चन है. बेसिक चीज़ों पे चर्चा हो रही है. अगर अभी आपने दिल्ली विधानसभा का पूरा अगर प्रक्रिया देखी होगी तो बहुत बड़ा चंक उसके ऊपर प्रदूषण पे था और बहुत सारा डिस्कशन उसके ऊपर हुआ. लेकिन जब आप इन प्रॉब्लम्स की बात करते हैं, यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल्सो दैट इट्स अ लेगेसी प्रॉब्लम. प्रदूषण एक दिन में खड़ा नहीं हुआ, एक दिन में किसी ने पानी को कंटामिनेट नहीं किया, हमारी मिट्टी को कंटामिनेट नहीं किया या हवा को कंटामिनेट नहीं किया. इसको सुलझाने के लिए भी थोड़ा समय लग रहा है. थोड़े समय पहले तक ये डिस्कशन नहीं था. आप ये बात भी समझो, थोड़े समय पहले तक ये डिस्कन भी नहीं था. मेन स्ट्रीम
आजादी का अमृतकाल चल रहा है.
आजादी के अमृतकाल की मैं बात कर रही हूँ.
है।
बेटा मैं आज की बात कर रही हूँ, 75 साल की भी मैं बात कर रही हूँ, लेकिन मुझे एक बात बताओ, जिस पैशन के साथ हम आज पोल्यूशन या एनवायरनमेंट को डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, क्या 10 साल पहले हमारे नागरिक कर रहे थे? नहीं कर रहे थे। 10 साल पहले जब बिगाड़ रहे थे हम एनवायरनमेंट को, तब इस पैशन के साथ ये डिस्कशन नहीं था। आज ये मेन स्ट्रीमिंग इसीलिए हुई क्योंकि हमसे पहले कुछ लोगों ने इतनी गलतियां करी है कि हम भुगत रहे हैं, हम इस हवा में सांस ले रहे हैं। उसका
10 सालों में पानी, खाना और शुद्ध हवा पर भी हम कार्य नहीं कर पा रहे हैं। उन जगह पर छिड़काव पानी का हो रहा है, वाटर स्प्रिंकलर्स हो रहा है, जहां पर AQI मॉनिटरिंग मशीन लगी है। क्या ये जनता के साथ धोखा नहीं है?
AQI मॉनिटरिंग मशीन नहीं लगी है, जहां AQI हाईएस्ट है वहां छिड़काव हो रहा है। मुझे एक बात बताओ, AQI आपको कम कहां करना है? जहां कम है या बहुत ज्यादा है? तो छिड़काव कहां करोगे? जहां AQI मैक्सिमम है वहीं तो करोगे ना।
500 के पार AQI है।
बेटा सुनना, सिंपल आपसे सवाल है, आप कहां पर छिड़काव करोगे? जहां AQI कम है या जहां AQI ज्यादा है? जहां AQI ज्यादा है वहां हम छिड़काव करेंगे तो आप ये बोलोगे हाँ वहां ज्यादा था, वहां कम करके दिखा दिया। यही बोल रहे हो ना आप?
800 जहां पर AQI है वहां छिड़काव कर दें और बोल दें कि 600 जहां पर है वो वहां पर कम है।
800 जहां है आप पहले वहां छिड़काव करोगे या जहां 500 है वहां पहले छिड़काव करोगे?
डेंजर मैम, हजार्डियस तो दोनों केस में है।
आप पूरे जगह सब जगह छिड़काव कर दोगे?
क्या आप ये बोल रहे हो कि 800?
आप क्या बोल रहे हो? जहां ज्यादा AQI है पहले उससे डील नहीं किया जाए, जहां कम है पहले वहां जाके खड़े हो जाए?
सारी चीजों को एक साथ में क्यों नहीं डील किया जा रहा? हम 2 टर्म हो गई मोदी गवर्नमेंट की।
आप मेरे लिए 4 सवाल लाए हो, चारों एक साथ मुझसे पूछ पा रहे हो क्या? लॉजिकल बात करते हैं, सॉल्यूशंस की बात करते हैं, और सॉल्यूशंस कैसे आते हैं? जो सबसे प्रेसिंग अभी हमारा इशू है पोल्यूशन को लेकर, आप AQI को लेकर,
में तो आप ये
या तो तुम
थे।
बोल लो या मैं बोल लूं?
नहीं प्लीज,
आप सवाल मुझसे पूछ रहे हो, आप डिबेट करना चाहो, मैं आपको टाइम देती हूँ, पर मैं ये बात बोलना चाहती हूँ, समस्या जहाँ सबसे बड़ी है समाधान पहले वहां से शुरू होगा। AQI जहाँ सबसे ज्यादा है छिड़काव वहां पहले होगा, नॉट द अदर वे अराउंड।
हेलो मैम, माय नेम इज राहुल।
हाय राहुल।
मैम 12 जनवरी के दिन, युवा दिवस के दिन, हमारे देश के प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा था कि युवा ही देश की ताकत है। लेकिन मैम बीते 10 साल हम देखिए तो मैम हर साल एक पेपर लीक होता है, चाहे मैम 2021 का UG पेपर लीक हो, UP TAT पेपर लीक हो, UP पुलिस कांस्टेबल 2024, BPSC 67 पेपर लीक, उसके बाद मैम 70 BPSC भी लीक हुआ, और मैम अभी हाल फिलहाल में NHM का पेपर लीक हुआ था मध्य प्रदेश में। तो मैम ये कहीं लग नहीं रहा कि युवाओं के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है, भविष्य के साथ?
नहीं, बिल्कुल हो रहा है, हर पेपर लीक के ऊपर एक्शन भी हो रहा है, 100% हो रहा है। लेकिन आप एक एस्पेक्ट को लेकर ऐसे ब्लैंकेट स्टेटमेंट देते हो कि युवाओं के भविष्य के साथ खिलवाड़ हो रहा है। क्या इन युवाओं का ही भविष्य बनाने के लिए ये सरकार दिन रात काम नहीं कर रही है? जब ये सरकार बोलती है कि मुद्रा से आपको पैसे देंगे, आपको पता है दुनिया में ऐसा कोई देश नहीं है, आप देश छोड़ो, कोई बैंक या परिवार नहीं है जो बिना कोलैटरल के, आपसे बिना कुछ लिए आपको पैसा देने को तैयार है। ये सरकार आपको क्यों दे रही है? आपके भविष्य में ये इन्वेस्टमेंट है। अगर आप ये बोलो कि युवा के भविष्य के बारे में सोचते नहीं है तो स्किल इंडिया का इतना बड़ा कार्यक्रम क्यों चलता है? हम ये क्यों बोलते हैं कि आप जॉब क्रिएटर बन जाओ क्योंकि आप अपने साथ 10 लोगों को नौकरियां और दो? एक एस्पेक्ट जो गलत है, जिसको गलत बोल रहे हैं, जिसके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं हम हर दिन, आप उसको लेकर ये नहीं बोल सकते कि भविष्य युवाओं का यहाँ पर सिक्योर नहीं है।
लेकिन मैम हर साल पेपर लीक हो रहा है, ये ऐसी नहीं कि एक ही साल
हर साल इस देश में कितने पेपर लिखे जाते होंगे?
मैम 1 से 2 पेपर लीक होता है हर साल।
1 से 2 नहीं, लिखे कितने जाते होंगे? इस देश में कितने पेपर, किस किस फील्ड के, किस किस प्रोफेशन के, किस किस कॉलेज में कितने एंट्रेंसेस, कहाँ कितने पेपर होते होंगे, ये मुझे बताओ।
मैम ये एग्जैक्टली डाटा तो नहीं पता।
अब डेटा मैं आपको बताती हूँ। अगर आप 1 से 2 बार बोल रहे हो, जिस देश की जनसंख्या 150 करोड़ के आसपास है, आप उसमें एक पेपर का उदाहरण लेकर पूरी सरकार को एक रंग से पोत रहे हो।
मैम BPSC जो होता है मैम सबसे बड़ी, राज्य की सबसे बड़ी पेपर होता है, तो मैम ये छोटा एग्जाम कैसे हो गया? मैम ये देखो, मैम ये छोटा एग्जाम नहीं होता, उससे मैम SDM बनता है, DSP बनता है, FAO बनता है,
मैं
तो मैम ये छोटा एग्जाम कैसे हो सकता है?
किसी चीज को ट्रिविलाइज नहीं कर रही,
कॉलेज का पेपर नहीं है,
मैं किसी चीज को छोटा भी नहीं बता रही। जो बड़ा है, जो गलत है, मैं उसको गलत बोल रही हूँ। जिस चीज को मैं गलत बोल रही हूँ आप वापस मुझे पूछ रहे हो, लेकिन मैं गलत कह रहा हूँ, मैं आपसे अग्री कर रही हूँ। एट द सेम टाइम आई एम आस्किंग यू, एक स्ट्रे क्रिमिनल इंसिडेंट को लेकर आप पूरी सरकार को एंटी युवा बोलना चाह रहे हो?
मैम एक नहीं है मैम, बहुत सारे मैम, हर साल अगर हम ऑन एवरेज देखें तो
हर साल आप एक निकाल रहे हो, ये कैसे हो सकता है? तो ऐसा सवाल हुआ कि सड़क पे कोल्ड ब्लड में मर्डर कैसे हो सकता है? ये इसी टाइप की बात है ना, जिसने किया उसको पकड़ो, उसको पनिश करो, जिसने पेपर लीक किया या जो इंस्ट्रूमेंटल थे उस प्रोसेस में उनको पकड़ो, उस प्रॉब्लम को फिक्स करो। पहले कितने हुआ करते थे? राजस्थान का उदाहरण देती हूँ, 2 साल पहले तक, जब तक दूसरी सरकार थी, 19 पेपर लीक हुए थे। 2 साल में एक भी पेपर लीक हुआ है?
तो मैम आपकी
2 साल में एक भी पेपर लीक हुआ है? नहीं हुआ
मैम
है।
राजस्थान में
अगर
नहीं हुआ, लेकिन
problem-
मध्य प्रदेश में तो हुआ है, यूपी में तो हुआ है, बिहार में तो हुआ है,
जहां
झारखंड।
हुआ है इस प्रॉब्लम को प्लग तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर आप प्रॉब्लम को एक प्रिज्म से ही देखना चाह रहे हो तो आप सोल्यूशन कैसे ढूंढोगे? देखो, मैं तो बार बार ये बोलती हूँ, टू वर्क विद द गवर्नमेंट। जन भागीदारी का मतलब ये है, बी एन एडवोकेट नॉट एन एक्टिविस्ट। एडवोकेसी में और एक्टिविज्म में यही फर्क है कि एडवोकेसी के साथ आप बदलाव लाओगे जिससे आपका भविष्य भी सुधरेगा और आपके देशवासियों का भविष्य भी सुधरेगा। अगर आप सिर्फ एडवोकेसी छोड़कर एक्टिविज्म करोगे, जो आपके साथ अग्री कर रहा है, आपके साथ काम कर रहा है, आपको डेटा देके ये बता रहा है कि हमारी सरकार में पेपर लीक का डेटा देख लो, आप उसकी बात सुनने को तैयार नहीं हो। आप एडवोकेसी करो ना, आप ये बोलो ये गलत है, इसको सुधारने का ये
मैम,
तरीका
लेकिन
है।
अगर हक भी मानने जाते, देखता हूँ लाठीचार्ज किया जाता है युवाओं के साथ, तो मतलब क्या ये राइट नहीं है उनका? मतलब बीपीएससी में
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल हक मांगना आपका बिल्कुल राइट है। और लाठीचार्ज क्या इसीलिए हो रहा है कि आपने हक माना है?
जी मैम, बिहार में
लाठीचार्ज
भी हुआ
इसीलिए
था।
हो रहा है, या लाठीचार्ज इसीलिए हो रहा है कि उस क्राउड का कोई एलिमेंट वायलेंट हुआ होगा?
और मैम,
आप इस एस्पेक्ट को नहीं देखते।
मैम हर एग्जाम के बाद जो होती है एसआईटी बनती है, लेकिन एसआईटी का मैम प्रभाव क्या है? हर साल बाद तो फिर से पेपर लीक हो जाता है।
सो योर पार्टी ऑफ्टन क्लेम्स कि कांग्रेस एक डायनेस्टिक सक्सेशन है और उसका डिक्लाइन का कारण भी यही है। आई कोट अमित शाह हियर, ही सेज दैट Congress is a family-run enterprise. Even former Finance Minister Arun Jaitley stated that dynastic character is causing decline. और भी बहुत सारे ऐसे लीडर्स हैं जिन्होंने कहा है कि कांग्रेस में नेपो किड्स है। Now, but चारू जी, क्या आप भी इसके पार्ट एंड पार्सल नहीं है? बिकॉज सत्यपाल सिंह जी, योर फादर, ही इज़ अ फॉर्मर IPS ऑफिसर, पुलिस कमिश्नर ऑफ मुंबई, एक्स पुलिस कमिश्नर ऑफ मुंबई, मिनिस्टर ऑफ स्टेट, BJP MP फ्रॉम भागवत, एंड एंड इनिशियली आपका तो पॉलिटिक्स में आने का प्लान था भी नहीं, बट देन योर फादर हेल्प यू एंड यू बिकेम।
That's actually contrary. You got your information absolutely wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll correct you, but finish your question.
Definitely, and helped you to become the spokesperson of Bharat Air.
Absolutely not. कोई हेल्प कर सकता है क्या? मेरे पिताजी यहाँ बैठ के मेरे लिए बोल रहे हैं आपसे, या डिबेट पे मेरे पिताजी आके हैंडल करते हैं 4 एंकर्स, 4 ऑपोजिशन वाले लोगों की
I'm coming to
बातें।
my question. So there's this data by ADR, Association for Democratic Reform. It says that analysis of sitting MP and MLAs and MLCs in India with dynastic politic backgrounds, जिसमें से 21% जो कि sitting MLAs और MPs ये सब है, उनके डायनेस्टिक बैकग्राउंड्स है। अब कांग्रेस के लिए हम क्या कह रहे हैं कि डायनेस्टिक बैकग्राउंड है इसलिए उनका डिक्लाइन हो रहा है। बीजेपी में भी ऐसे लोग हैं जिसमें डायनेस्टिक बैकग्राउंड हो रहा है। इफ आई टेल यू, अनुराग ठाकुर, ही इज सन ऑफ एक्स CM प्रेम कुमार, दुष्यंत सिंह एंड मेनी मोर लाइक दैट। तो ये खुद ही हम हमारी स्टेटमेंट से कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट नहीं कर रहे?
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं। देखो, एक बात है कि आप किसी परिवार से आते हो, शुड नॉट स्टॉप यू फ्रॉम गेटिंग इनटू अ प्रोफेशन योर फैमिली हैज बीन एक्टिव इन। डॉक्टर का बेटा डॉक्टर बनता है, लॉयर का बेटा लॉयर बनता है, ये जाहिर सी बात है, ऐसा होता है और बहुत सारे प्रोफेशंस में ऐसा होता है। एक्टर का बेटा भी एक्टर बनता है, लेकिन इफ समबडी इज नॉट गुड एट व्हाट दे डू, do they continue to keep doing it? Will you keep going to a lawyer who's incompetent just because he's the son of a lawyer you trusted 10 years ago? That's not the case. तो पॉलिटिक्स में थोपा क्यों जाता है? देखो, मेरिटोक्रेसी को कोई चीज़ रिप्लेस नहीं कर सकती। तो अगर आपकी पार्टी का आज प्रेसिडेंट है और उसके होते हुए आपकी पार्टी 90 चुनाव हार जाती है, should you as an organization not take note of that and say, let's change the precedent, let's change our strategy, let's change our approach to politics so we start winning some elections? Is that happening? That's not happening. How do you compare it to Bharatiya Janata Party? Anyone who stands for election wins that election with the support of his people. किसी के पिताजी आकर किसी को चुनाव नहीं जिता सकते, पहली बात। दूसरी बात यह है कि जब हम डायनेस्टिक पॉलिटिक्स की बात करते हैं, हम ये नहीं बोलते कि राजनीतिक परिवारों के बच्चे राजनीति में नहीं आ सकते। हम ये बोलते हैं कि राजनीतिक परिवार से आप चाहे आओ, लेकिन प्रूव योर मेटल फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड अप। आप काम तो करो, आप जनता के बीच तो रहो, इतना दम तो रखो कि आप चुनाव जीतोगे और तब आगे बढ़ोगे। ये सेफ प्लेइंग की क्या बात है कि मैं अध्यक्ष बन के बैठ गया हूँ? आपको प्रियंका गांधी का एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ। मैंने कम से कम 6 बार ये हवा सुना है, प्रियंका गांधी राजनीति में उतर चुकी है, राजनीति में उतर चुकी है। वो एक चुनाव में 2 भाषण के बाद अप टिल नाउ यू हैव नॉट सीन any of that, no action happening, no activity happening. Why does she get that position? Because she carries a surname. राहुल गांधी का मैंने आपको उदाहरण दिया। इतने सारे losses के बाद भी the Congress cannot think of an alternate. That's not the case with my party. नितिन नबीन जी का आज पहला दिन है, उनके कार्यकाल का आज पहला दिन है। He is our new national president. He could be the son of a BJP leader, but he lost his father when he was in his 12th grade. And today, he's proved his mettle by winning 5 elections on ground. Do you think that is easy? 5 बार आप क्या ये बोल रहे हो कि जनता फ्लूक में किसी को जिता देती है? 5 बार? ऐसा हो सकता है क्या?
But
To
ma'am-
command the respect of your peers, of your कार्यकर्ताज, of people around you, it takes mettle. That's not the case with Congress. एक बात और बताती हूँ, कांग्रेस में राहुल गांधी के खिलाफ जितनी आवाजें उठती हैं उतनी हम नहीं उठा सकते. वो G23 क्या था? वो सब लोगों ने चिट्ठी लिखी, जितने लोगों ने कांग्रेस छोड़ी है ना, सब ने यही बोल के छोड़ी है कि राहुल गांधी सीरियस नहीं था, कॉम्पिटेंट नहीं
पॉलिटिक्स
था.
में एंट्री इजियर हो जाती है एज कम्पेयर टू एक यूट्यूबर नेता था जिसने इलेक्शन लड़ने का ट्राई किया था. ही डिडंट विन. तो ये
इलेक्शन
वाला
यूट्यूब पे नहीं जीते जाते बेटा. ऐसे तो कांग्रेस भी ट्विटर पे सारे इलेक्शन जीत रही है.
It's saying that public को पॉलिटिक्स में आने में
बताओ ना, राहुल गांधी बोस्ट्स अबाउट आई हैव मोर इंप्रेशंस देन पीएम मोदी, पर चुनाव क्यों नहीं जीत रही फिर तुम्हारी पार्टी इंप्रेशंस लेकर? आप लाओ यूट्यूब पे इंप्रेशंस, उसी से जीतो.
Ma'am, since I'm from an army background, I want to touch on Operation Sindoor. First of all, government has not given the data how many men we have lost. Government has not given the data who was my hero. 99, I know that Captain Vikram Batra was the hero of Kargil. And we know a lot of heroes like that. हर जगह प्रधानमंत्री जी की पोस्टर्स है. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि the Prime Minister went with the aircraft and did strikes and came back. The officers have done it too. Where are the names of the officers, ma'am? Who is my hero of Operation Sindoor? Please tell me a few names.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के हीरो हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस हैं, बट ऑपरेशन सिंदूर इज ऑल्सो एन ऑनगोइंग ऑपरेशन. वी हैव सेड इट टाइम एंड टाइम अगेन. आवर गवर्नमेंट मिनिस्ट्रीज हैव सेड दिस टाइम एंड टाइम अगेन. इट हैज बिकम इंडियाज स्टैंडर्ड रिस्पॉन्स टू टेरर. यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट गेटिंग द डेथ टोल फिगर. आई थिंक आवर मिलिट्री लीडरशिप आंसर्ड दैट रियली रियली वेल. हमारा काम यहाँ पर ये देखना था कि हमारे सक्सेस के पैरामीटर्स क्या हैं, हम लोगों को कौन से टारगेट्स हिट करने थे, whether we achieve that or not, what we set out to destroy, whether we achieve that or not. We hit out at the terror base camps, we destroyed their airstrips. All of that was done perfectly well. Every single person we lost in crossfire at the border. Not during Operation Sindoor, not when this exact operation was carried out. All the details are in the public domain. In fact, one person who was caught on the other side of the border was also got back. वो आपको याद होगा. So every single detail that the citizens of this country needed to know was put out in the public domain.
Why is the Prime Minister using it for his political votes? He's using it in his election rallies that हम लोगों ने जाए ऑपरेशन.
National security is an issue on which people must vote. I come from the city of Mumbai. I am born and raised in Maharashtra. When 26/11 happened,
why should people vote for BJP? Why should people vote for BJP for the actions armed forces have conducted?
I'm coming to that. I'm just telling you that. So armed forces of our country have been equally able, equally strong, equally powerful throughout the time when even I was a kid. What has changed? Political will. Political will has changed. Political will 71 में था, लेकिन 71 के बाद हमने क्या किया? सारे prisoners of war छोड़ दिए, लेकिन अपने वापस नहीं ला पाए हम. उस वक्त हम बांग्लादेश को बचाने चले थे, लेकिन हम POK की बात नहीं कर पाए. क्या था political will? मेरे को बताओ, और मैं क्यों नहीं पूछूंगी ये बात. आज भी जब हम POK की बात करते हैं, हम बांग्लादेश को तो आज़ादी दिलाने चल दिए थे. जो हमारा था, हमने उसकी बात क्यों नहीं करी? और political will से ये फर्क पड़ता है कि एक टाइम पर we were writing letters. Sending letters, no? Dossiers were going to Pakistan, and after this dossier,
Prime
what
Minister
happened?
also went to meet Nawaz Sharif in 2015.
Yes, I will answer that also. But dossier के बदले आज क्या हो रहा है? When we have an action against the sovereignty of our country, when a terror attack is carried out on our soil, we respond with missiles. And this response of missiles is not because suddenly our army has become magically stronger. It's because political will has become stronger. Political will has become so strong that now our military forces are allowed to respond with strength. They were never allowed to do that. During 26/11, our Air Force claimed time and time again, we are ready to fly at a moment's notice, but that notice never came to them. They sat, imagine, they are in a position to carry out strikes and to, I'm not saying that every life lost is going to be brought back. That didn't happen. But हमने action क्या लिया? हमने अपने देशवासियों को ये दिखाई, your lives didn't matter to us.
Are you justifying प्रधानमंत्री जी या गृह मंत्री जी जो स्टेट्स में जाते हैं और फौजियों के नाम पे वोट्स मांगते हैं?
फौजियों के नाम पर वोट नहीं मांगे जा रहे हैं. नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के नाम पर अगर हमने वोट मांगा, आई थिंक इट इज बेटर फॉर माय कंट्री. आई वुड रादर बी अ सिटीजन ऑफ अ कंट्री वेयर माय प्राइम मिनिस्टर कैन टेक ओनरशिप एंड से nobody touches my soil, nobody touches my people, and absolutely no terrorist can come and shoot my citizens in cold blood because I will retaliate. Previous prime ministers, did they have the guts to say something like that? No. Prime Minister Modi said, we will go after them, we will strike not just the people who held the gun, done, but those who were directing them from the back. He said that.
Why the after
पाताल से भी
realization?
ढूंढ कर
Why
लेकर
the
आएंगे.
after realization?
There's no after
26 में
realization.
मरने के बाद ही
No.
पहले
ये
कहा था.
realization
Where
पहले
were
से
the
है.
forces?
ये realization पहले से है. Strengthening of armed forces started from the day PM Modi took office. From that day.
Why wasn't there security in Pahalgam that day when 26
Security
civilians
in
were killed?
Pahalgam was there that day. Somebody who infiltrated was something which shouldn't have happened anyway. Same as 26/11, that shouldn't have happened anyway.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
As a BJP spokesperson, how do you respond to concern that party spokespersons, media representatives, and IT cell leaders sometimes prioritize narrative control over objective truth, especially on sensitive issues like protest and policing? For instance, previous social media posts by senior party communication officials have been flagged as manipulated media when claiming misleading or incomplete versions of protest incidents. Like in 2020, Twitter labeled a tweet by BJP IT cell head Amit Malviya as manipulated media under the platform's policy after it presented a cropped or misleading depiction of a farmer protest incident. And other than that, independent fact checkers have debunked several claims about protests, like paid protest allegations at Shaheen Bagh, that were widely multiplied through party-linked channels but lacked factual basis. So, ma'am, like, what do you think? Is it right for parties to believe in strong political messaging rather than not telling the truth?
So, what is that organization, that Sikh organization? Sikh for Justice? What's that Khalistani organization? Sikhs for Justice. So what Amit Malviya was saying about the farmers' protest later on turned out to be true. Yes, a protest started. It was organic. Farmers were a part of it. But if that was infiltrated by enemies of our country, by Khalistani organizations, then should we not call that out? Later, it was established. At that point of time, maybe people didn't want to open their eyes and see the truth of it. I was talking about this bit of fake news about Turkman Gate, the most recent incident, and let me talk about it. There were videos circulating on social media where random people went around screaming, "They are coming for our mosque." Mosque को demolish करने आ रहे हैं. Was that the truth? Absolutely not. The court order had been given 20 days in advance. That court order did not talk about any mosque at all. It only talked about illegal structures in the vicinity of the mosque. Should that be allowed? And अगर आप vicinity में कोई दुकान या taxi stand को हटाने की बात कर रहे हो, should you equate it to the mosque and spread this kind of fake news? Cause anarchy there in such a way that the police gets attacked and 5 of them actually get hospitalized. So what you are mentioning with fake news and narratives is true both sides over. And if you can confirm whatever it is that you're posting on social media, that is the only time you should be posting it, not otherwise. So what Amit Malviya's post was called as manipulated media. Did Twitter or any other organization do the same for this incident that I'm talking about? It did not. So these incidents, mob incidents,
changed.
sorry?
Twitter's policy changed after.
Twitter's policy even earlier was biased, and that is why it needed to be changed. I am giving you proof. Sikh for Justice was later found to have infiltrated. Money was coming from Khalistani organizations, and that was proved. So एक protest जो organic हो सकती थी, अगर hijack हो गई, should we not take action against it? Shaheen Bagh का आप example दे रहे हो. Do you think a protest could have sustained for that long without external influence? That protest was the one where little children were made to stand up and talk about beheading the Home Minister of the country. Do you think that's an organic protest? In that so-called protest, there was a person who was talking about breaking of India's chicken neck. Do you think that is organic? Do you think that should be allowed? So these protests, which are anyways not organic, which have infiltrators with people who are enemies of India, and then they are being promoted by these so-called fact checkers.
For the Shaheen Bagh incident, there was, after the fact, independent fact checkers were there. There was no credible evidence that it was a paid protest in the Shaheen Bagh incident, because 2 female protesters even sent defamation notices demanding apologies.
And what happened after that? In Shaheen Bagh protest, you see the kind of statements that came out. You cannot say that is organic. It wasn't in any way, and the only reason they got up from there was COVID, not because they got...
I'm not trying to say it's organic, but I'm trying to say that it wasn't paid, ma'am. Like, it wasn't a paid protest.
Non-organic paid ही तो होता है. Somebody has to be funding the mic, the lights, the stage, the drama, the Kavi Sammelans, the biryani that went around. It didn't come for free, no?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
What is your take about the case regarding recently graduated lawyers being impaneled as central government counsel to appear before the Supreme Court out of these 650 professionals, some have negligible legal experience and haven't cleared all India bar examination. How does this affect the legal proceedings of our country? And being a lawyer yourself, is it concerning for the future advocates?
So bar exam is important and everybody has to take it. Sometimes it can be deferred for a little bit of time, but eventually you need to take it. But I am all for encouraging younger people to come and appear for the government. See, the biggest problem with the legal profession is that opportunity नहीं मिलती है. Court में खड़े होने की opportunity ही नहीं मिलती है. So if we can create a system where younger people are given the opportunity to appear, to argue, to learn, I think it's a great thing. And the legal profession has in recent times also become something which is working better only if you're a part of a law firm, not individual. When I was growing up, I used to have this dream of being an arguing counsel in court and going at it literally by myself, not being part of a large corporate firm with 200 other lawyers with me. So I think this is a great opportunity for young people, and I think young people need to be given more and more trust when it comes to every single profession, politics included, legal profession included, because अगर opportunity नहीं मिलेगी तो आप अपने आप को success कैसे बना पाओगे? Practice makes perfect.
But do you think this type of corruption is on a large scale? And recently the NEET PG controversy, this is also the same thing. They are accepting students on a lower percentile. So does this affect the future of this country? It's very concerning.
It doesn't. That needs to stop. I have blatantly said that wrong is wrong. Doesn't matter which party is in power. Doesn't matter which leader has made a statement for it. Wrong is wrong. Corruption needs to stop, and we are stopping it. At least you're talking about it today. I'm talking about it today. 6 years ago, we wouldn't be discussing this. This exactly is the first stop. And whistleblowers are needed. So somebody from within the system can be a whistleblower. From outside the system can be a whistleblower.
But this
What is the action that we are
continuous.
taking after the whistle has been blown? That's important. And I think that is where we are different from previous governments.
But this is a continuous situation. Students are struggling. Like this entire
It's not a
topic is
continuous
turning into a
situation.
caste-based thing.
No, it's not a continuous situation. Students are also not struggling. Sometimes I think that is something that people want to talk about. If you look at the number of PF accounts that get opened in this country, it shows that employment is increasing. Employment opportunities of building your own livelihood is also increasing. All of that is important. I know the opposition likes to make fun of it and says that, "Arey, aap agar influencer ban gaye ho, that is not employment." Of course it is. If it is bringing money into your bank account and you're able to live a good life and hire a researcher and a video team, you have become a job creator at the end of the day, right?
Exams are
and every single national level exams पे मैं आपको वही बोल रही हूँ, अगर problem है, needs to be plugged. But our country also has the power of demographics. We are the youngest country in the world. We are the largest workforce in the world. That also means our challenges are very unique. It means that the largest working population of the world needs to be employed in our country. Do you think that's not a massive challenge? And this challenge cannot be met by waving a magic wand and suddenly saying that median age of my citizens is 28, all of them will instantly have a job. It needs concentrated effort, and concentrated effort is not simply saying सरकारी नौकरियां इतने लाख हैं. It is saying that सरकारी नौकरी अगर मैं नहीं कर सकती, मैं alternatively अपना एक business शुरू कर सकती हूँ या मैं कुछ और कर सकती हूँ.
India has now officially surpassed China and we have become the most populated country in the world.
Just talking about it.
Yes. So while BJP has time for slogans like Vande Matarams to be discussed, why is population control still not a legislative priority? On one hand, some leaders from BJP even say have 3-4 kids. And MPs like Ravi Kishan even made jokes about population in parliament. Does that reflect seriousness or insensitivity toward a national crisis? And why hasn't our government brought a strong population control act even now? We don't have a law. Why?
We should have a law. And we have been working on it, and it has been on the agenda. There is going to be a law shortly. When we talk about population control, it's important because with this increasing population, there's a lot of strain on our resources. So that strain needs to be reduced, and we need to make sure that when a couple decides to have a child, they're able to give a good life to that child. See, unfortunately, and you were saying some people are advising that you should have 3-4 children. The thing here is that what kind of kids are we raising, or what kind of a lifestyle are we able to give to them, and how these kids are going to contribute to nation building. At the end of the day, we see
but why are they saying that have more children? What's left to achieve now?
No, I'm coming down to that. So, you know, there are certain sections of society, and usually they are the poorer sections of society who want to have a lot more children because various reasons, cultural reasons, more hands to work in the field. They have this mindset कि हमको multiply करना है. For religious reasons, some people have that mindset. But at the same time, when a family can have a child who can be groomed into someone who is contributing to the economy of our country, to the culture of our country, making us better, more powerful every day, those are the ones who take a step back and say, नहीं हमें और बच्चे नहीं चाहिए. This is exactly what they mean by saying कि 3 बच्चे कर लो या 4 बच्चे कर लो. But at the end of the day, see, there has to be a parity. There has to be a place where our system puts a full stop and says, we can take the burden of only 2 children per family, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I don't think it's my party's line, but I say it very strongly. We need to make sure our resources reach everyone. We need to make sure every child in our country has good education, good health, access to perfect infrastructure, the best that we can afford. That can only happen.
BJP has been in power from so long.
And
why not?
No, and BJP has been in power for so long, and every single parliament session has introduced something which is transformative for the future of this country.
Still not
Every
any
single
law.
one. No, for this, but other laws have come, right? And the kind of question you're asking now, it was asked for Kashmir, it was asked for triple talaq. People are asking it for uniform civil code. Uniform civil code probably can have an aspect like that. Everything cannot be done immediately. मैं आपसे पहले किसी से यही पूछ रही थी, आप 4 सवाल मुझसे एक साथ नहीं पूछ सकते. For the government also, sometimes you have to take one step forward at a time and make sure all your priorities are met, and that also changes with time. At one point of time, health is going to become a priority because there is a global pandemic. At another point of time, during Operation Sindoor, your defense becomes your priority, education becomes your priority. Everything can't be done.
A priority from so many years.
It is a priority. That's why we are talking about it openly. We have BJP
Without a
leaders
law.
like Giriraj ji who are openly talking about bringing this bill. I am talking about it openly. But it all can't be done together. And it will be done, I assure you. It's very important. So the way we are going now, this is, I think, one of the most critical changes our country needs to see. In my opinion, population control, judicial reforms, policing reforms, in that order. It has to be done.
Okay. So, according to you, we'll be having a law for...
Yes, we will. And then, हम लोग राजनीति में क्यों हैं? जो अब तक नहीं हुआ, हम करने का प्रयत्न करें, इसलिए हम राजनीति में हैं ना?
Right.
यूटोपियन सोसाइटी होती तो हम भी वकालत कर रहे होते.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Hi again.
Yes, no wonder I was not able to find the statement because the FIR has not been made public yet. And there has been a specific statement for Ashmeet Gautam specifically. Talking about other minors, one was about PM Modi. The minor said something about PM Modi.
No, I know. You've asked me the question. Let me give you my opinion. ठीक है? पहली बात ऐसी है, you're allowed an opinion, I'm allowed an opinion. I can say anything. I can say, in my opinion, Rahul Gandhi is an incompetent leader. I can say, in my opinion, Rahul Gandhi needs to step down and allow someone who's better than him to lead his political party. That's my opinion, I'm allowed. But if I'm going to sit here and on this show state that uska na koi jaake gala kaat do, do you think that is allowed?
No.
Is that freedom of speech? Things like that have been said for our Honorable Prime Minister. Said and justified. कांग्रेस के लीडर्स ने धरने पर बैठकर एयर स्ट्रिप पर ये बोला है, मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी. Shouldn't that be put a stop to? Just now JNU में slogans उठे थे. याद है आपको?
Yes.
है ना? क्या था?
Do you want me to say it?
Say it.
मोदी शाह की कब्र खुदेगी JNU की जमीन पर.
Do you think that is fair? Do you think that should be allowed? Is that freedom of speech? Is that kind of liberty allowed? I'm criticizing. I'm not calling out for blood. I'm not calling out for murder. I'm not calling out for anarchy and violence. There has to be a fine line. My right cannot be to an extent that it encroaches upon your right, your life, your dignity. And that is what these FIRs are going to reflect, I assure you. Yes,
but how do you differentiate between
I just told you, my right stops the minute it touches you. I'm allowed to swing my hands wherever I want. But if swinging of these hands is going to punch your nose, that is not my right.
Of course.
right?
Right.
The same thing applies to these social media posts that you're talking about. I can have an opinion, I can criticize, I can say whatever I want against whoever I want. That's my freedom of speech. My country, my constitution has given me that. But there is also a responsibility which comes along with it, the other side of the coin. And if I overstep, then there has to be consequences. जंगल राज थोड़ी है कि मैं हाथ हिला रही हूँ, तुमको मार दिया और मैं बोलूँ freedom है मेरा.
Let me move on to my next question.
Sure.
That is that India is largely a very non-vegetarian country, yet we see meat bans and moral policing shaped by upper caste vegetarian norms. Only 43% speak Hindi, yet there is pressure to make it dominant. When the BJP says that it represents majority, how does it ensure that this does not become cultural imposition, where one group lifestyle is treated as the national default? For that, I would like to quote examples like reducing the NCERT syllabus, that is removing the evolution chapter entirely, or reducing the Mughal history, or we have policies like Ji Ram Ji or Arogya Mandirs. So what do you have to say for that? That isn't BJP imposing one particular group's lifestyle?
No, absolutely not. We have 22 official languages.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If you go to our parliament, you can hear everything in these 22 languages.
Yes.
We have a different language for literally every state in this country, all of them spoken with a lot of pride. We are the ones who have given the status of classical language to more languages than previous governments ever have done.
But
at the same time,
जीराम जी मंदिर है, तो क्या वहाँ सिर्फ हिंदुओं का इलाज होगा या सिर्फ हिंदुओं को मिलेगा?
नहीं, उसका फुल फॉर्म है और मैं आपको वो भी बता रही हूँ. बट लेकिन मैं पुरानी बात खत्म करती हूँ. अगर आप जो हिंदी इम्पोजिशन बोल रहे हो, I disagree. I told you 22 languages हैं. But at the same time, aren't we all speaking in English because it's a language which is bridging between countries? अपने देश में आपको ब्रिज नहीं चाहिए. हिंदी को आप इसीलिए हटा देते हो क्योंकि एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी हिंदी में बात कर रही है, जबकि वो साथ में 21 भाषाओं को प्रमोट कर रही है.
नमस्ते अगेन.
हेलो अगेन.
हर साल दिल्ली का AQI सिवियर और पुअर की कैटेगरी में जाता है और 2025 कोई और डिफरेंट नहीं था. बट मैम माय क्वेश्चन इज दैट दिल्ली हैज नॉट सीन अ सिंगल गुड AQI डे व्हिच आई टेक द कैटेगरी 0 to 50. And the government, as you said, it's a legacy problem inherited from others. But we've also seen that the Union Environment Ministry itself had spent only 7.2 crores allocated 858 crore of the Controller Pollution Scheme for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. And further, this was then clarified as Minister only 69%. So isn't having known that the BJP is at the center, Union Environment Ministry, and that environment's a concurrent subject for the past 12 years, isn't it both the state governments we have and the central government that has not been able to coordinate or has not been able to focus even if they've been given the money?
So for a very long time, Delhi suffered because money came to the government, was not spent. Money was given to Delhi government to buy buses, EV buses. Those buses were never purchased. And why weren't they purchased? Nobody has an answer. Recently, I came to know that the money for phase 4 of Delhi Metro was never paid by the previous government. Why wasn't it paid? We don't have an answer. The current BJP government has made this payment now. Now, wasn't this critical? The current BJP government in the last 10 months has added 1500 new EV buses. तो सोचो पहले कितनी कम थी. Today we are talking about a long-term solution where we say first thing that needs to be done is fix public transport infrastructure. That has to be done. Why didn't anybody do it for all these years? हर साल आप pollution पे ड्रामा कर सकते थे. You could do odd even. You could say that वो लाल बत्ती on, गाड़ी का engine off. You did all of that. But why didn't you buy EV buses? And I've been asking this question for so long. They didn't. They chose to lease certain buses, spent more amount of money. I don't know what they did, but all of this was not done. There was no wall-to-wall carpeting of the road so that dust mitigation happens. Potholes were not fixed. Pothole है, उस पे गाड़ी चलेगी, dust उड़ेगा, AQI खराब होने ही वाला है. If people are going to be using their own transportation, there is going to be congestion, there is going to be fumes in the air, there is going to be an AQI issue. None of that was faced. PUC के लिए strict action किसने लिया? Our government now in just the last 10 to 11 months, right? All of this was not done previously. So Delhi is in a situation where we are doing things immediately. We were talking about the water,
Correct.
the mist.
So,
we are doing things which are medium term, which means fixing the roads, which means making sure dust does not fly around, whether it is through construction, whether it is through roads. We are talking about fixing long-term issues like traffic congestion.
Correct.
We are building highways around the city. NCR is in the center of
If you're
action.
saying long-term issues, I want to take specifically, let's say we take
Yeah.
the Yamuna River.
Yeah.
And the BJP has proudly said that they have cleaned it. But we saw right
Proudly
now...
said we are cleaning it.
Cleaning it. Correct. And during Chhath, it was fine for people to go and
Yes.
perform.
And that's not happened for so long.
But I have to go on that further. There's a Delhi Pollution Control Committee released then the November and the December report, which was delayed for some time.
Yes.
And that it showed that the level of fecal coliform had gone back and it increased to 92,000 in December, which is approximately 37 times higher. So why is it that during these festivals that the government starts getting this push to clean the Yamuna River, but then let's say we take November, December. First of all, why were these reports even delayed? And further, then why do we not pay attention to it? Is it because the festival's now gone?
No, so the festival is important to celebrate.
Correct.
So we did everything we could to make sure the festival could be celebrated in the Yamuna. We are very proud of that achievement. At the same time, Yamuna ji's problems also come from the fact that there's a lot of sewage drainage which goes into the river. That needs to be fixed. It cannot be done overnight. Efforts are now being made to make sure that no sewage water goes into Yamuna ji. Then there is, cow dung and things like that which have been dumped into Yamuna ji for so long.
last quick question.
So all of that is being fixed now. Biomass को deal करने के लिए जो plants चाहिए थे वो दिल्ली में अब लगे हैं.
So how
अब
many
तक
years would
लगे
you
ही
say
नहीं
it would
थे.
happen?
This term.
Within 5 years.
This term. 4 years now.
Hi again, ma'am. So my next question to you is on the portrayal of the foreign policy of the government, of the Modi government specifically, in the past 11 years. So, ma'am, after many events like Namaste Trump, Howdy Modi, and the Prime Minister himself saying, Ab ki baar Trump Sarkar, a 50% tariff was imposed on India. And on top of this, President Trump has come out and said any country doing business with Iran will receive a 25% tariff. We have been doing business with Iran for many, many years, and trade and strategic ties still exist between us. After that, if we look at our extreme neighbors, in Tajikistan, the Aini airbase was not renewed to India. Nepal is openly drifting towards China. Bangladesh turned hostile after the regime change and after we gave asylum to Sheikh Hasina. Ma'am, and my question to you is, how does the BJP justify that India's global and global position has strengthened in the past 11 years compared to the previous governments?
See, this is a very nuanced question, and thank you for asking me that. I am not going to speak on behalf of the party at all. I am going to give you my personal view. We have been rising steadily, especially in the last 1 decade. We are the fastest growing economy in the world. We have recognized our strengths. We are playing on that. We have decided we can very easily become a factory to the world. We have become the pharmacy to the world. We are working on those sectors. Service industry in India is extremely strong. We are working on strengthening that furthermore so that at least manpower, wherever needed in the world, can be sent from India. It's better for India, it's better for those other countries. But India's rise could also be seen as a threat to some other nations. And the kind of statements that President Trump has been making, with a lot of responsibility I'm saying this, is selfish. He's looking at America first, but we will continue to look and act India first. So what happens is when we buy, for example, oil from a country that he does not like, or when we take action in our neighborhood which benefits us immediately, it becomes a problem. And the way Trump went rogue, if I can use that word, was because we took a very hard stand on our dairy industry. We took a very hard stand because we had to protect our country, our economy, our farmers.
If our foreign policy is truly independent of any foreign threats,
yes.
Why is that after President Trump says something, for example, if I take the Chabahar port, for example, in Iran, the company which we leased out the Chabahar port to, which was managing on behalf of India, all the top directors have resigned and have been removed from the website after President Trump's statement. Why has that been done, and how can we say that our foreign policy is truly independent if we succumb to all these threats by foreign leaders?
No, we're not succumbing to any threat. I think we are uniquely poised in a position where we are a part of opposing groups. We are a part of G20 here, Quad there, BRICS. We are a key player in any geopolitical discussion today. We speak for the global south, and our position gets more and more cemented every day. I am not going to get ahead of myself and issue a statement on Trump today when my government has not said anything.
But why has the government not said anything?
The government has to look at a lot of issues. See, the world is interconnected. Whatever Trump might like to say and do.
But if someone is making a statement on your country,
we respond to that. We respond to every
Why
single
doesn't the Prime
statement which
Minister
has
come out
been made.
himself and refute the statement that President Trump is making about India?
He did that. He did that. And after Operation Sindoor, he did that with a lot of conviction. We all did. But at the same time, you have to understand that when Trump is saying something about Greenland, for example, or he carries out this coup in Venezuela, all of that is problematic. It is problematic for the entire world. But I cannot be speaking for my country because the people who are in power, they know exactly what is correct. And like I said, there is interdependency.
Okay, thank you. Hello, ma'am, again. So my next question is, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस की एक रिपोर्ट आई, आर्टिकल आया जिसमें 26 लीडर्स के नाम मेंशन किए गए थे जिनके ऊपर ईडी की कार्रवाई हुई। 95% 95% ईडी के केसेस उनके साथ में हुए हैं जो अपोजिशन में है और बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट 2014 के बाद की बात है। कुछ नाम मैं आपके सामने रख देता हूं: अजीत पवार, प्रफुल्ल पटेल, अशोक चौहान, हिमंता विश्व शर्मा, एंड देन हसन मुशरीफ, भावना, एक्सेट्रा। देयर आर सो मेनी। 10 कांग्रेस से आए, 4 नेशनलिस्ट कांग्रेस से आए, 4 शिवसेना से आए, 4 टीएमसी से आए, 2 टीडीपी से आए, एक एसपी और वाईएसआर सीपी से आए। पहले इनके ऊपर ईडी कार्रवाई कर रही थी जब ये दूसरी पार्टी में थे, लेकिन बीजेपी जैसे ही इन्होंने ज्वाइन की, ऐसी कौन सी मशीनरी है जिससे ये शुद्ध हो गए? मेरा ये सवाल है, क्योंकि 23 लीडर्स के ऊपर से दंड विराम लग गया और 3 के केस तो ऑटोमेटिकली मतलब कंप्लीटली क्लोज हो गए इनमें से। एक देवेंद्र फडणवीस का स्टेटमेंट है 2019 इलेक्शन का। उन्होंने अजीत पवार के ऊपर बोला था कि अजीत पवार वुड एंड अप इन जेल आफ्टर द पोल्स एंड वुड बी चक्की पीसिंग एंड पीसिंग। सो व्हाट इज दिस? मतलब बीजेपी ज्वाइन कर लीजिए तो ईडी के आरोप खत्म है।
नहीं, इस तरीके के आरोप और इस तरीके की अफवाहें देखो बहुत सारे लोग उड़ाने की कोशिश करते हैं, लेकिन ईडी ने कौन सा केस बंद किया है? इन्वेस्टिगेशन तो अभी भी ऑन है और जिस भी केस में इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑन था वो कोई भी कहीं पर भी बंद नहीं हुआ है। मैं यहाँ पर वापस पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट नहीं, पर्सनल स्टेटमेंट देती हूँ। मुझे लगता है कि लीडर्स की अकाउंटेबिलिटी बढ़नी चाहिए, घटनी नहीं चाहिए। खासकर जब आप पावर में हैं तो और ज़्यादा अकाउंटेबिलिटी होनी चाहिए, ट्रांसपेरेंसी के साथ काम करना चाहिए। आई एम फर्मली गोइंग टू से दिस इवन इफ इट गोज द रॉन्ग वे। अगर आपके खिलाफ एलिगेशंस हैं वो प्रॉपरली इन्वेस्टिगेट होने चाहिए, उसके बाद यू शुड बी अलाउड टू बी ऑन द राइट साइड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट और द राइट साइड ऑफ लॉ, एंड बियॉन्ड दिस हमें सोचना ही नहीं चाहिए। लेकिन अनफॉर्चुनेटली
मैम, क्या ये पार्टी की छवि पर सवाल नहीं है कि वो लीडर्स जिनके ऊपर, क्योंकि शुभेंदु अधिकारी की भी
नहीं, कभी कभी उठता है ना, कभी कभी उठता है और मैं ये कैंडिडली बोल रही हूँ, कभी कभी उठता है। एंड आई विल टेल यू फ्रॉम माई पोजिशन वेयर आई सिट एंड वेयर आई एम अ पार्ट ऑफ डिस्कशंस वेयर आई एम अटैकिंग अ पर्सन टुडे with data and with facts, that turns around sometime later, it is a problem for me too. I could be a politician, I could be a spokesperson, but at the same time I'm equally a citizen of my country. So some things bother me as much as they bother you. I can only hope and pray that justice prevails, and I have a lot of faith in our justice judicial system, in our investigative agencies, and I hope at the end of the day, if not now, 2 years later, we get clarity, and then those who need to be taken to task are taken to task, they are penalized, whatever it is, it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
मैम, एक और सवाल जो निरंतर विपक्ष भी उठाती है और जनता के मन में भी जाता है कि जो सेंट्रल एजेंसीज है, जैसे अभी इसी प्रश्न से ही रिलेटेड, सेंट्रल एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग कर रही है बीजेपी सत्ता में होते हुए। हम देखते हैं 2024 के इलेक्शन की बात करें तो केजरीवाल के ऊपर भी और हेमंत सोरेन के ऊपर भी, लेट मी फिनिश मैम, हेमंत सोरेन के ऊपर भी और केजरीवाल के ऊपर भी 2024 इलेक्शन के जस्ट पहले ईडी की कार्रवाई होती है, जेल में भेजा जाता है। अभी रिसेंटली जो बंगाल में हो रहा है, क्या ये सब प्लान गवर्नमेंट कर रही है ऐसा कुछ? क्या ये जो आशंका है
बंगाल में क्या हो रहा है? अगर सीबीआई एक रेड कंडक्ट करने जा रही है या ईडी का एक इन्वेस्टिगेशन है ऑन हवाला, मुख्यमंत्री आती है, फाइल लेकर गायब हो जाती है, ये क्या है? ये दुरुपयोग कौन कर रहा है पावर का? क्या इन्वेस्टिगेटिव एजेंसीज दुरुपयोग कर रही है? क्योंकि वो तो हाथ में वारंट लेकर जा रही है ना, उनके पास तो डॉक्यूमेंट है। मुख्यमंत्री barges in and walks out with the relevant files, that is a problem, and that problem has now come to the Supreme Court. वेस्ट बंगाल की तो ये पुरानी प्रॉब्लम है। शारदा चिटफंड केस में जब सीबीआई इंक्वायरी करने के लिए पुलिस कमिश्नर से मिलने कोलकाता गई तो ममता दीदी धरने पर बैठ गई। ये कहाँ से अलाउड है? शेख शाहजहां का एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ, लैंड माफिया है ना, लैंड माफिया से जब पूछने के लिए ईडी वहां पर पहुंची, उनकी गाड़ी जला दी गई। तो ये दुरुपयोग कोई और कर रहा है।
समय ही खास तौर पर ऐसी कार्रवाई ईडी क्यों कर रही है? तो ये सवाल का मतलब एक नजरिया तो बनेगा।
कम बैक एंड डिस्कस दिस विद मी अगेन।
थैंक यू मैम।
हेलो मैम।
हाय
मैम, बीजेपी के नेता कहते हैं कि भारत विश्वगुरु बन गया है, तो मैम अभी एक पैक सिलिका है जो चीन की में जो सेमीकंडक्टर है उसकी मतलब आत्मनिर्भरता को कम करने के लिए अमेरिका द्वारा बनाया गया है। उसमें मैम सभी कंट्री है, क्वाड के सभी मेंबर है, लेकिन मैम भारत नहीं है। कहीं आपको लगता नहीं कि ये भारत की विदेश नीति फेल हो रही है?
भारत विश्व मित्र है।
यस मैम।
देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस एंड विश्व मित्र का ये मतलब है कि जब दुनिया में किसी भी कोने में कोई भी आपत्ति आती है, हम सबसे पहले वहाँ जाकर सहायता करते हैं। आप चाहे नेचुरल कैलामिटीज़ की बात करें, आप पैंडमिक की बात करें, वी हैव स्टूड फर्म ऑन आवर कमिटमेंट। हम वसुदेव कुटुंबकम बोलते नहीं हैं, उस प्रण के साथ हर दिन जीते हैं। वॉट यू आर मैंशनिंग राइट नाउ इज़ a global alliance which is forming because India is becoming powerful. राइट एंड यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट बहुत सारा बिजनेस जो आज इंडिया को मिल रहा है, जो इंडिया की इकोनॉमी इतनी स्टेडली राइज कर रही है, इट इज़ ऑब्वियसली एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ अदर कंट्रीज, देयर इकोनॉमीज, देयर कंपनीज. वी आर एबल टू डू दैट ऑन आवर ओन स्ट्रेंथ. सो हाउ कैन यू से दैट इंडिया इज़ नॉट राइजिंग? एंड जिन कोलैबोरेशंस की आप बात कर रहे हैं, चाइना है या यूएस है, वो तो अपने एजेंडा पर चल ही रहे. इन द प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन वी एड्रेस दैट. एट द सेम टाइम वी हैव टू सी एंड डू व्हाट इज़ राइट फॉर अस. अगर एक जगह हमको लगता है ट्रेड रूट हमारे लिए बंद हो रहा है या कम हो रहा है, हम छह और खोल रहे हैं. फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट्स इन द लास्ट कपल ऑफ इयर्स इंडिया ने इतने हिस्टोरिकली इतने साइन किए हैं कि मुझे नहीं लगता किसी और समय में या किसी और देश ने इतने साइन किए होंगे. हमारे बिजनेसमैन के लिए, हमारे ट्रेडर्स के लिए अगर एक अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर वन पर्सन्स ईगोइस्टिक माइंडसेट अगर कम हो रही है, तो वहां पर हमने 20 नए दरवाजे खोल के दिए हैं. आप देश गिन के देख लीजिए. एवरी सिंगल डे न्यू थिंग्स आर डेवलपिंग.
इंडो पैसिफिक में कमजोर हो रहा है क्योंकि मैम चीन का दबदबा बढ़ रहा है और क्वाड की मैम कोई भी मतलब वैल्यू रही नहीं है.
तो आप खुद ही बोल रहे हो क्वाड की वैल्यू नहीं रही है.
मैम भारत तो विश्वगुरु बताता है ना.
भारत अपने आप को विश्व मित्र बताता है.
मैम मनोज तिवारी ने भी हाल फिलहाल में बोला था भारत विश्वगुरु है. मैम
देखिए, भारत जिस पोजीशन पर है, ये तो मैं बहुत फर्मली कहती हूँ, नो कंट्री इन दिस वर्ल्ड, whichever country it is, can do without India. We are the ones who supply skill, we supply manpower, we supply people who are professionally trained. We are a market, we are in fact the largest free market, we are the largest workforce in the world for everything. We are a country which is rich in things which are maybe less tangible than calculating money, which is lying in the US, but we are rich in something far more. We are a civilization which does not die, we are culturally resilient, we are also a group of people जो रोज़ अडेप्ट करते हैं, सीखते हैं और केवल अपने देश में कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं करते, दुनिया के जिस भी कोने में जाकर रहते हैं वहाँ पर उनकी इकोनॉमी में, उनकी जीडीपी पे कंट्रीब्यूट करते हैं. तो ये जो आप बोल रहे हो ना, मुझे लगता है बहुत सुपरफिशियल और ये बहुत कॉन्ट्ररी है और ये बहुत थोड़े समय के लिए है, कुछ दिनों की बात है. ऑल ऑफ दैट विल कम बैक.
अभी बांग्लादेश भी आंखें दिखा रहा है, जबकि मैम
बांग्लादेश क्या हमको आके दिखाएगा भाई? बांग्लादेश क्या आके दिखाएगा? और बांग्लादेश को डिस्टेबलाइज करने वाली आपने ये बातें नहीं सुनी. देयर हैव बीन पावर्स व्हिच एंड चाइना हैज बीन प्लेइंग अदर कंट्रीज अगेंस्ट इंडिया. दैट इज बेसिक जियोपॉलिटिक्स. आप आसपास के देश देख लीजिए, आप श्रीलंका को देख लीजिए, आप मालदीव्स को देख लीजिए, अब आप बांग्लादेश को देख लीजिए. उनको क्या लगता है इंडिया की पावर, इंडिया का इन्फ्लुएंस कम करने के लिए हम ऐसा कुछ कर दे. देयर हैज बीन इंटरफेरेंस फ्रॉम डीप स्टेट इन द यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑल्सो. वी आर काउंटरिंग ऑल ऑफ दैट. The position we are at today is that we are able to keep our country calm and steady in spite of all of this happening around us 360 degree by forces which consider themselves very powerful. In spite of that, when we remain steady, I think that's our strength. We should be applauding that. This is a win of our foreign policy.
Oh my word, that was such a refreshing exchange of ideas, absolutely riveting. I think the questions were tremendous, so were the replies, to be honest. Charu, how do you rate the experience?
It's like 20 debates rolled into one. That's how intense it was.
Did you have fun?
I had fun, and I'm so happy to see that our country is in such wonderful young hands.
Amazing. Okay. Charu, thanks for stepping into the ring and staying in on it. I'm sure, and respect, guys, the questions that you brought to the table, they were so well researched. All of you, well done. And
Thank you very much.
Yeah, big hand to all of you. And audience, tell us what you think. Maybe cut down on the trolling. If you have any points to make, state the facts in the comment section. We'll see you in the next episode very soon.